All right, so today I have Mike Brown, who's general manager of the Journeyman Distillery in Three Oaks, Michigan. This is a destination for whiskey lovers. There's a distillery which produces organic whiskey, and Mike's going to tell us more about that. And there's the farmhouse and event space, and there's the restaurant Staymaker, which is 180 seats, full service operation that celebrates whiskey making and great wine and craft beer. So Mike, tell us a little bit about what Journeyman is.
Yeah, so Journeyman is this continued extension of all things craft. My own background coming from Firestone Walker Brewing Company in California, where it was an emerging beer brand and everything made with your hands. And craft whiskey, craft distilling is still exploring its growth, and it is quite rare to see distilleries have restaurants and extended hospitality experiences. So we are certainly on the forefront of changing what spirits and distillation means for the typical adventure seeker and those finding some comfort in what used to be only in Lexington, Kentucky is now across the globe.
Well, is Journeyman known for a specific type of whiskey? Can you tell us about the products?
Yeah, so we make quite a number of spirits, starting with things on the clear side, vodkas and some remarkable gins. But we really take pride in our production of rye whiskey. We produce a wonderful bourbon as well, but I would definitely say we gravitate towards some of those beautifully spicy characteristics that rye whiskey offers. And then some variations of rye, what we call the mash bill, the ingredients behind the spirit, how much corn do you put in versus how much rye versus how much malted barley. They all dictate a clear differentiate in sentiment of the spirit. So it's always an ongoing pursuit of something of refinement.
And so tell us about the restaurant, the menu there. I know you guys are known for your sustainable seafood, but tell us what else is on the menu.
Yeah, we are quite the busy restaurant in the small town of Three Oaks, Michigan. Like you mentioned, 180 seats that then opens up into different dining environments and nooks and crannies where different experiences like tours and tastings can occur. We even have a 36,000 square foot putting green, a real live turf putting green out back. And I think that was always kind of a natural progression to bridge the experience here with golf, as golf stemming from Scotland and the rich history behind whiskey in Scotland. It all just kind of made sense. And so the restaurant is really only the tip of the iceberg as it comes to the experiences that you're landing with when you step foot on our property.
And so you're originally from California, you mentioned. It sounds like you've been going back and forth between the West Coast and Midwest. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I will start with a good old-fashioned boiler up. I'm a Boilermaker from West Lafayette, Indiana, where I went to graduate school. I went to culinary school at the CIA in Hyde Park, New York, and really found a lot of comfort in what the Midwest lifestyle was offering. California will always be my home state, and I do miss the beaches. I miss being able to snow ski and go to the beach in the same day. But the Midwest has this really beautiful attraction of quality of life, and the serene setting of natural ingredients. It is the belt where a lot of produce still originates from. And there's a lot of time-honored tradition in recipes that are, handed down in families throughout the Midwest. So, for me and my family, it really made sense for us to, set our roots here in the Midwest again, I should say, and, find an opportunity to be a part of something in craft that was growing, like Journeyman Distillery.
How long have you been with Journeyman?
I just passed 2 years. Um, Arguably, there were some shutdowns here and there. So collectively 2 years, and in between that 2 years, we've restarted the hospitality experiences twice with a couple state shutdowns. We pivoted immediately into producing high quality sanitizer for first responders and the general public. And anymore, we're on a remarkable growth trajectory after those last 2 years.
So yeah, I'm assuming you're saying shut down because of the pandemic, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. So while you were closed for indoor dining, did they pivot to delivery as many restaurants did, or was that not possible with this concept?
Yeah, being a destination versus being in, say the heart of Chicago, that can be very difficult for smaller operations as we experienced to pivot to, because in the middle of winter, your destination resorts and products, say like our property in Three Oaks, Michigan, we don't witness the volume that would normally be a part of summer, the summer push. Whereas in Chicago, we did see remarkable technological advances, and nearly all restaurants pivoted to some form of carry out, takeout, delivery service. So to answer your question, we did pivot to that. And it's now part of our standard operating procedures. When we turn the lights on, we're turning carry out service on. And it hasn't been detrimental. I think it's been a great learning experience on how to repackage food, in a la carte full service restaurant that's not used to putting all of its products into some sort of capsule. I think we've all learned the do's and don'ts, particularly things like French fries. How great can French fries be, or seafood products be when they're continuing to steam inside their capsule for a to-go order. I think that's encouraged us to reinvent the offerings that we do promote for to go.
So is the restaurant fully open now?
Oh yeah, I mean, since the first week in February of 2021, we've been open 7 days a week straight through. We took Thanksgiving off and Christmas Day off, but we're back at it. So we've at least for the year 2021, we had a significant 11-month stretch to the year.
Okay, great. And so now it sounds like you have plans for growth. Can you tell us about what's being planned now for, is it Valparaiso, Indiana?
Yeah, Valparaiso, Indiana, about 45 minutes to the button, southwest of Three Oaks, Michigan. It's near the main route 65, which basically is ironically the old route that bootleggers would use, taking moonshine and whiskey and other things from Kentucky up to Chicago. And so it is definitely in the heart of the Indiana economy and the growing Chicago suburbs, as it were. And it is the hometown of the founder owner, Bill Welter. It is where he grew up, him and his family, multi-generational bankers, and the legacy that continues with that family and being a part of the business industry of Northwest Indiana.
So this will be called Journeyman also?
Yes, it is. We're looking to call it the All-American Factory. It is 140,000 square feet of space, and you would think that would be difficult to fill, but once you start etching in all of the equipment and experiences and everything from locker rooms to retail counters, it fills up quite quickly. So we have 3 restaurants, 2 full service going into that property. One being that tried and true, all-American approach to food, where it's all handmade, everything coming out of a commissary on site. So a lot of production, high volume production coming out of a commissary concept and then pushing it into the main kitchens via arteries. And the second concept being a truly high-end steakhouse, one which operates its own beef dry aging, curing environments, fermentation environments for things like vinegars and sauces and whatnot, and even expanding into the world of ice fabrication, where we will have our own ice house and produce custom ice for internal purposes, and perhaps Northwest Indiana and the growing excitement around food and beverage in the region will wish to partake in some custom ice as well.
What do you mean by custom ice?
Well, you can imagine maybe somebody's getting married and they want to monogram their ice cube, or chiseling by hand ice into a form that best represents, best supports a particular style of whiskey or proof of whiskey. So everything really focusing on the spirits that we make and ensuring that we're not, like, for lack of better terms, no pun intended, diluting the product. Everything has to be thoughtful, everything is meaningful, and everything is authentic.
That sounds really interesting. So this campus, this second campus, will also have a distillery, right? That will also be part of it. You're expanding that.
Yeah. Yes, actually, it's a the plan is to have a larger distilling operation on that footprint in Valparaiso, and a somewhere between a 10 and 15 barrel brew house system, so that we can forge our way slightly into the craft beer scene. And Lord knows we'll have plenty of barrels in which to age our beer in. So always something exciting if we can vertically integrate some wonderful products.
Right. That's recycling. That's the best best kind of
recycling.
Well, so when will this second campus open?
We're looking towards the fourth quarter this year. So we've gone through design, we've gone through concept creation. The next phase is construction, which we're easing into right now. It's pretty cold up here in Michigan, Northwest Indiana. So there's sometimes limitations on what you can do on the outside. But things like demo work and interior construction are all full speed ahead. Equipment, the industry, our restaurant industry is terrorized right now by the inability to get metal wares and equipment in general into our establishments with lead times that would never be thought of. I have a friend who operates in the region, a restaurant, and they're 6 months out on a basic fryer. And these are certainly the challenges that you can extrapolate from that example. Everybody's feeling them. And so growth has to be met head on with aggression, and you have to push hard is what we're finding, because 6 months is not a viable option for some operators. And so sometimes you may have to reconsider what concepts you're looking to plug in if that equipment isn't available. Certainly, we saw that same predicament with labor, where we couldn't find the skilled talent to help us operate our experiences, our food and beverage experiences. And so I saw a lot of our industry pivot away from full service, going into say the Chipotle version, where it's more kiosk driven. Furthermore, I saw things like POS technology grow into those areas of touchless ordering, menuless ordering, so that every table had a number on it, and all that you needed was an expo and a food runner. And essentially, the service piece was cut out of that environment.
Well, and so it sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of hiring with this second campus. How are you meeting some of these challenges? Because there's a labor crisis that's affecting everyone, in addition to the supply issues that you're facing.
Yeah,
how are you dealing with that?
We read about it. We read the publications. We're watching the news. We collaborate with our industry friends. We've been very successful and fortunate, to say the least, in our approaches to staffing and not jumping to any conclusion or trend, as it were. I know one thing that we found to be ultimately successful in the long run, last summer when everything really got tough. I know for us it was tough, and we saw a lot of our colleagues across the nation, literally take increases to their team members or new hires, $6 to $10 above what their original compensation was. We all thought about it. We all looked at it, as an industry. Sometimes those types of moves can be seen as unsustainable. And can a business be responsible to operate with expenses that are beyond sustainable? And so we took long, hard looks at what approach we wanted to take during that time. And to be clear and transparent, we doubled down on the quality of the work environment. We doubled down on the the ulterior things other than strict payment. Putting more investment into rewards, putting more focus on one-on-one feedback sessions, and providing the quality of a job that somebody would want to be a part of and stay with long term. We thought about some opportunities for bonuses and really rewarding in the moment, and those things continue to pay dividends for us as far as maintaining the quality team that we have.
That's interesting. So focusing on things like bonuses and other benefits and a career path. That's
absolutely. You hit it right on the head. A career path. So often, so many of our team members, they don't know where they're going to be in 3 years, 4 years, maybe a year. And being able to say, I'm tired of the turnover that our industry accepts. We don't want a seasonal team member. We want a lifetime team member. And I know, somebody watching this could say, well, that's all good and well, but there's realities to it. But are we as an industry investing into the quality of the work environment? And I'll stand on that soapbox after the last year and a half, 2 years of experience in driving the change for our own environment.
Okay, that's a great note to end on. So Mike, thank you so much for being here. And it sounds really exciting. I wish I could get up to Michigan to give it a try, or Indiana as it comes, but hopefully someday. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. That was great talking with you.